Thank you for coming to my show. What? Okay, that was the fastest I've ever seen Sean move my entire life. So how are you guys doing today? You guys doing okay? You guys doing? Thank you so much. Can I say thank you so much for you guys for coming out? I know a lot of you guys are seniors. You guys got a lot of theses going on. So thank you for taking the time to come out. Remember when it was spring break? Remember that? That was so long ago. That was like a week ago. Can you believe that? If you're a senior in the house, can you make a noise and you holler? Yeah. As a senior, you stop giving a shit about how you explain your spring break to people. So people keep asking, you know, John, how was your spring break? And I know what they're up to. I know what you're up to, Fred. You're asking me about my spring break so that you can ask, so I can ask you about your spring break, and you can explain your service trip to Peru, which I already knew about because I liked your photo on Facebook while I was eating a Hot Pocket and watching The Wiggles on Netflix. Okay? So I've gotten into this habit now when people ask me how my spring break was, of giving really long, elaborate, mundane stories about nothing. And here's one I've been loving to use this past week. So I'm like, oh my God, get this, let me paint you a picture. I went home for spring break and I flew on a plane. But before I went on the plane, I went into the terminal and I got food from the airport kiosk. I know. There was this lady who I talked to, her name was Beatrice, and she was an attendant at a smoothie/froyo combo restaurant. So you knew that she was a hoot and a holler. So I'm talking to Beatrice, and I'm like, can I get a froyo, Beatrice? Plain tart? She's like, no problem, man. And then I was like, can I get some free toppings? And then she was like, okay. And then she put sunflower nuts on my plain tart yogurt. Have you ever had sunflower nuts on a plain tart frozen yogurt? It's disgusting. I did other things over spring break too. My family and I decided to go to the mall. You guys ever go to the mall? Make some noise if you've ever been to the mall. Wow. Some people haven't been to the mall. Alright, so my family and I go, yeah, you've been to the mall, man?
Yeah.
The mall's a freaking amazing place. What's your favorite store in the mall?
Well, I like to go to the movies.
The movies? What mall are you going to?
Milford Malls. My friends and I got lost there.
Really?
It was back,
That was that big?
5 years ago.
Did you have like a phone? Could you call them, or was that dead? Or...
They wouldn't let me call.
They wouldn't let you call? Milford Mall was like, you're not gonna call!
I didn't have my phone.
You think you can call? Okay.
I didn't have my phone with me at the time.
Oh, you didn't have your phone?
Because I was in this school, I was in this
crazy
boarding school.
You were in a boarding school?
No. It was an assisted living center.
Why don't you have your own show? Your life is incredibly more interesting than mine. The mall I went to did not have a movie theater. So my family went there to buy a watch. Because in today's modern era, you can't tell what time it is unless you have a watch. So my family goes into the watch store to get a watch, and my sister and I are just chilling outside. And my sister, you know, she's 15, so we're chatting about nothing because she's 15 and has no life experiences. And I don't blame her, right? I don't know a lot of things. I didn't know a lot of things until now. Right, like a month ago, I didn't know what an areola was. I got that explained by the Yale cheerleading team. That was embarrassing. So we're chatting, and there's this guy that walks into the mall. And the guy that walks into the mall looks normal. That's a key part of the story, because what he's about to do is not normal. So he's walking towards a janitorial cart, which is about halfway between me and the guy. My sister, you know, so he's heading over, my sister and I are chatting, you know, chatting about Frozen. And I'm complaining about Frozen. Because why is everyone mad at Elsa, right? She's conjuring up snow. Isn't that a good thing? Like the movie dedicated the first 5 minutes and the worst song on the soundtrack to explaining how ice is the main export of this imaginary kingdom. So wouldn't her ability to create ice be a net game for the gross domestic product of this imaginary kingdom? And why isn't anyone concerned with the fact that Elsa can create life? Like the snowman she created was alive? What happens if the snowman dies? Does the snowman go to heaven? Does it go to snowman hell? She's basically God. Does she have control over the afterlife of the snowman? Does the snowman have to wait until Elsa dies too? And like they're both in purgatory, but there's like a hierarchy of purgatory. And like she's in purgatory, but he's in purgatory, and she's still like, you're still going to hell, man. And he's like, what? But then there's this third party God that's like watching all of this, and he's like, yo, and then like, and the snowman's like, whoa, I thought I knew who my God was. And then the third party God was like, no, you don't. And he zaps him with a wand, and the snowman explodes. And my sister's listening to this, and she's just having her religious beliefs steamrolled, and she's like, let it go. And I'm like, puns. And the guy walks towards the janitorial cart, and he takes a spray from the cart. He takes a spray from the cart, and he starts spraying his shoes. Just like that. At first glance, it's kind of weird. At second glance, mildly understandable if you think about it. Our shoes are disgusting. We're stepping in poo and shit, and then he took off his shoes, and he started spraying inside his shoes and spraying his socks. Spraying his socks. At first glance, pretty weird. At second glance, mildly understandable. Our feet are disgusting. Right? Our bodies are this well-calibrated machine, and any little deviation away from our core body temperature leads to a bunch of sweat. Like we're just, Rainer, you know about this, we're just sweating right from our brow, right from our armpits. We've got to wear antiperspirant deodorant. I wear deodorant, Carly. I wear Old Spice Swagger scented deodorant because I lack swag, so I apply it topically. And there's just sweat coming from the foot, and it's just absorbing into the sock. It's just disgusting. You just spraying it, and then he leaves. Turn to my sister, like, that was pretty weird. And my sister's like, that was pretty weird. Because she's 15 and doesn't have opinions about anything. So the amount of time it took her to regurgitate what I just said, the guy comes back. He walks back to the janitorial car, takes a spray, starts spraying his body. Starts spraying his body liberally, spraying it like a 10-year-old with super soaker at a birthday party. He's chasing after this kid. The kid's short. He's got a bowl haircut and glasses with a strap on the back so that the glasses don't fall to the pavement when they come off his face. And he's got cargo shorts that have his polo pants tucked in when he's running around. It's his birthday party. It's a kid with a bowl haircut's birthday party, but like, you know, it's a super soaked birthday party. He thought it was a good idea, but then everyone's laughing. They're not laughing with him, they're laughing at him because he's being chased by this older dude who has a bigger super soaker because his parents can afford one. He's just spraying it. And then he leaves again. And then I'm like starting to have ideas, like this is weird. Like I'm on an episode of Punks. I'm like looking around, are there celebrities, are there cameras? I'm looking for Ashton Kutcher, I can't find them. Second thought is maybe I'm on a watered down version of it. You know, maybe like a knockoff Punk where they can't afford celebrities, so they just prank random people that are just at the mall buying a watch. And then I'm looking around, like, am I supposed to be acting in a certain way? You ever see that show, What Would You Do on 2020 with John Quincionez? He's asking, like, what would you do in a situation where, you know, the guy's getting robbed? You go over there and do something about it? Like, am I supposed to do something about it? The guy's spraying himself vigorously with a spray bottle. Am I supposed to intervene, or am I just supposed to watch or look around, no one making eye contact with me? I'm confused. It gets weird. Guy comes back. Goes to the janitorial cart, takes a spray again. Starts spraying his face. Into his face, unfazed, eyes wide open. He has now covered his entire external part of his body, so you know what he does next. Opens his mouth, sprays the inside of his mouth with the spray. I'm watching this like, what is going on? He then leaves. This can't possibly get worse. It gets weird. This is the weirdest part of the story for me. About 10 seconds later, after he left, the janitor comes, takes the janitorial cart, and leaves. This leaves two possibilities, both of which are terrifying. Possibility number one, the janitor is homies with this dude and understands that he needs to spraying his body at regular intervals of the day, so he's going to let him do his thing while he goes to get, some food from the smoothie/froyo kiosk located in the mall. That's one possibility. The really terrifying possibility is possibility number 2, that this random guy has figured out the exact schedule of this janitor such that he can schedule at regular intervals of breaks to leave and then come back and to spray himself. And that was my spring break. And over spring break too, I also thought, I am bothered by a lot of things all the time. And I started to think in retrospect, why am I the way that I am? I'm so weird. All you friends here know I'm weird. And I want to explain my weirdness. Is that weird? So I want to take you on a journey, a quick journey of my life. We're going to break it up with a little bit of piano. So is that okay? Is it okay if I play one piano song for you guys? Is that okay? Okay.
Do it!
So I don't want to play that piano, so I'm going to play this one. This is, it's called a melodica. Have you guys ever heard of a melodica before?
All the time.
All the time, yeah. You too, Sean. No big deal. I want more. I'm ready to want to be. I want to see what it is. Walking around on the, what do you call them? Yeah, streets. Lift your hands, you don't get far. Legs are fire from jumping, dancing. Walk around on the way, working street. The other thing I did, spent way too much time doing that, right, Sean? I practiced that way too much. Alright, so I was a weird kid. I was very insecure growing up. I was very confused by everything. So when I was a kid, you know, in kindergarten, first grade, I was one of those kids that just questioned everything. I remember I was in kindergarten, we were learning math. Remember math, Rainer? Remember math? Candace remembers math these days. And that was a racial joke. Fan of this, Carly. Carly's white, so she laughs. Molly's laughing too. She's He's Asian. We all laugh because we're human. And I was in kindergarten, I was learning math, and the teacher was like, what's 2 cookies? What's 3 cookies? And I freaked the freak out, man. It bothered me. What does that even mean? Isn't that completely dependent on the initial size of the cookie? Like, what kind of cookies are we dealing with? You know? Because like a Nabisco Oreo cookie is completely different from an oatmeal raisin piece of grandma cookie. You know? Like 3 of the former plus 2 of the latter is really worth like 4 cookies, depending on what kind of cookie you're using as a numeraire. Rainer laughed because he's an economics major. And Asian, so he's into math. So I question everything. And this questioning and this kind of confusion in my life continued, but it got worse, because I think every single kid, when they're growing up, is OCD. Can you make some noise if you guys were OCD growing up? Yeah. Was it Jess, Sean, and I? Oh, no! Come on. Josh Ackerman? No? Josh Ackerman, okay. Just me. So I was OCD as a kid, but it got made worse by the fact that in 2nd grade, my parents enrolled me in a Christian school. Can you recall how long you guys ever went to a Christian elementary school? Again, I'm the only one. God, were you guys lucky? Get it, God?
I was in elementary school.
Thank you. You were in elementary school? I went there. We all graduated tonight, right? Anyone skip elementary school? Rainer looks like a skip elementary school. Back to the joke. Okay, so I was in Christian school. I was OCD. So now you have OCD plus coupled with a crippling fear that when you die, God's going to send you to hell. So think about that for a second. So before I went to Christian elementary school, when I blinked left, I just had to blink right to like offset it. Right? That makes sense. Right? But then when I go to Christian school, I have to do that. That's not enough, because I have to double blink super hard to be able to offset the initial sin that was the left eye blink. So I'm in 2nd grade walking around like that. And like I would play basketball at Modesto Christian Elementary School, and the ball would like go around the pole, but then like I had to put the ball back around the pole because things have to be where things are supposed to be. I'm the only one who felt this. Wow, okay. It was a very difficult thing to deal with, and it was made even more difficult by the fact that I was not a good-looking kid. Let's be honest for a second. So when I was a baby, I looked totally Asian. That makes sense. Right now, I look like a decent mixture of both Asian and Mexican. Right? Decent. I'm half Mexican, half Korean. Kind of makes sense. But then there's this point when you're in elementary school where your Mexican genes kick in, but your Asian face is like, no, I want to stay. And then the Mexican face is coming in, and it's like my face looked like the combination of a lot of different faces. So I was not a good looking because I was just the face. And then I had the glasses with the wrap-around strap because my mom was worried that if my glasses fell, they would plummet to the floor and explode or something. The sock, kind of like this, the soccer sock that goes all the way up, that's kind of cool too. Anything in the middle, you know, this middle, the white tube sock that was just like not high enough, that was my sock. Couldn't even do socks right. Or Skechers, remember Skechers? Skechers were never ever cool. I wore those. I think when I was in the 3rd grade, I had the ones that lit up. That was what my mom decided would be cool for me to have ones that lit up. At one point, I really wanted the Heelys, you know, the thing with the one wheel and the heel. But my mom like messed that up too. She got me one with 4 wheels in it. She basically got me a roller skate. It was difficult, so you have to deal with that appearance. You know, that appearance. You have to deal with those parents. You know, I entered the 3rd grade. I take an exam in the 3rd grade. In California, there's something called the Gifted and Talented Education Program. Anyone from California? Well, you guys are like so nice. Just lie. You guys just lions here from California. All right, great. You guys are wonderful. So in California, there's the Gifted and Talented Education Program. You have to take a test to get you into the Gifted and Talented Education Program. Gifted and Talented Education GATE. The GATE program. I take an exam to get me into the GATE program in the 3rd grade. I passed the test. Turns out my mom won't let me join because she thinks it's the gay program. My mom thought that if you take this test, they turn smart kids gay. I don't know what my mom was thinking, but like those are the things I was dealing with in elementary school. Okay, so I in the 4th grade, I then got placed in a public school. So that's great. public school kids are super nice to you. No, they're not nice. That's a joke. You guys didn't get that public school? Too many private kids here. Any public school kids here? Nice. Private school kids, reveal yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's cool. Lizzie, what school did you go to?
I went to private then public, so it's a bit.
Oh, you did what I did. Yeah, at least your private wasn't, make you feel bad about your everyday existence all the time. That's true. Yeah.
Does your private make you feel bad about your everyday?
Do my privates make me worry about my family? Yeah. So I'm in public school, and I have the face that I was talking about before with the parents that. Another example, like where you wear pajamas and you have pajama day, like at the elementary school. Pajama was not in the lexicon of my brain, so I didn't get the memo. So I was on Friday, I'm like, why are you wearing your nightgown? My mom called pajamas nightgowns. I thought that was hilarious. And I'm in public school and I'm struggling. But I'm so glad that I had to go through that. You know what I'm saying? Were any of you guys ugly ducklings too? No. You guys were all perfect, lovely. Just me. Just me, like Christian elementary school, being ugly and weird. And you have to develop a personality when you don't have the face, So I got really good at mimicking what other people were doing, and it was good. And I started to kind of progress. I felt good. In retrospect, probably not. There's this incident that happened in 6th grade that I thought was really cool. In retrospect, I was not. I was playing Bloody Knuckles with this kid, and it's this game where you gotta make the guy's knuckles bleed. And if you look at my body, my body's not particularly strong, but my strongest part of my body is my knuckle, my right knuckle. So I love this game, and I was really good at it. So I was playing with the guy, I'm like, dude, just keep going, man. And then he hits me. I'm like, harder, and then he hits me, harder. And the people around that are watching this are laughing. I think they're laughing at him because he's not very good at this game. And harder, and then they just laugh more and more. I'm like, haha, yeah, this guy sucks at this game. They're laughing at me because that was a sexual innuendo. I didn't get a lot of sex ed growing up either. In the 5th and 6th grade, there was some sort of sex ed that you could sign up for, unless your parents didn't sign the waiver. And your parents not sign the waiver. Nope, I was the only one who didn't know how to spell penis. Yeah, 6th grade, a guy wrote penis on my test, and I said, what is that? What is penis? And he's like, no, that's penis. I'm like, no, dude, you're an idiot, that's spelled wrong, and he's just sighs at me. I didn't know how women peed for a while either. Like a third hole or something. It is a third hole? Or? That's great. Yeah, so I was sexually aroused in elementary school. Another thing I have 3 sisters too. You guys have siblings? I got 3 sisters, and that made me kind of a beta male. I'm not very, authoritative. And my sisters growing up, I got mixed messages from my parents when I played with my sister. My dad was like, never let someone, take advantage of it. Stand up for yourself, be a man. And then I'd have to play Powerpuff Girls with my sisters because I was going to fit the family structure, right? You have 3 superheroes, you have Mojo Jojo. Freaking hated me, Mojo Jojo. Mojo Jojo never won, ever. And there was a whole rotation of supervillains. Remember that? Where it'd be him. I'd be him and I'd lose. I just lose all the time. I'd get angry. I want to beat them up. My mom's like, you can't do that. And I'm like, where am I going to take out my aggression? And I can't do it anywhere. So that was my elementary school life. And we're kind of moving forward. Middle school, same kind of deal. I'm starting to develop a personality though. Starting to come to my own. Starting to gain a couple of friends. Doing my thing, learning about stuff at school. And in the 8th grade, I had to go to a new middle school, which is always difficult when you have to change middle schools halfway through. And this is how lame I was actually, not socially adjusted at that point. The first friend I made was Kyle Crawford. I really hope Kyle watches this video. I don't know what this video is going to be, but this is for you, Kyle Crawford. You were the first friend I made in Somerset, middle school. And the first thing I ever said to Kyle was, do you know the Pythagorean theorem? Did you know the Pythagorean theorem is a squared was b squared equals c squared. And I don't think she was my friend. And I love you, Kyle. Kyle plays baseball now at the University of Pacific. Then I got to high school. And high school was really fun too. That was actually a decent time. I did a lot of things. I didn't like being at home, so I stayed at school doing a lot of things. But there is kind of one transformative moment in my high school that I think really makes me who I am today. And that was something called every 15 minutes. We do it to all the high school seniors. And the phrase every 15 minutes refers to the statistic that every 15 minutes someone is killed in a drunk driving accident. My friends and I thought that was kind of weird though, because this program's gone on for like 30 years. This program is incredibly ineffective. Because if it was effective, that number would change. Then we got to thinking, it can't be any other number besides 15. Every 14 minutes? That doesn't sound good. Every 12 minutes? That doesn't sound good. Every 8 minutes? That doesn't sound good. Every 30 minutes? Not that big a deal. Okay, so back to serious. Okay, so this program it wasn't just like the police officers coming in and being like, this is what's going to happen if you drunk drive, right? Like, that drink and drive, right? That's what normal high schools do. I assume you guys have some sort of... And what they decided to do is a simulation of a car crash in which I was involved. These people are insane. They just approached me. They were like, John, do you want to be part of a car crash simulation? And I said, okay. So I signed a waiver, and then my life changed forever. They took me out of class one day and got me prepped in fake blood and things like that. And I looked like I was just completely messed up. And they put me in a car, and my best friends were in the car with me, and they were going to die too in the simulation. It was absurd. There was another car. It wasn't our fault though. So I was driving actually. So I have an age now, bad driver. Anyone? Okay. No, it wasn't my bad driving. It was another guy's bad driving. The other guy was drunk driving. The other guy is a guy. He's a real guy, and he has a real girlfriend who is also in the simulation, and they have a baby. And this program was so insane, they decided to have this guy drink and drive and kill them in this simulation and have them die with the baby. It's insane, right? It's absolutely insane. They staged this. The entire senior class of high school has to come out, sit in these chairs, and watch the simulation. They don't know what's going on. So I'm in a car that's been just demolished. It's an actual car from an actual car crash. They just, towed that shit in. And I'm in this car, and I'm freaking out. And they're just like, okay, we're going to start the simulation in about 5 minutes. Just act like you're in a car crash. So I started screaming and hollering, and my friends are one of my friends is an actress, so she's really good at crying, and I'm feeling really emotionally involved. This is a moment in my life. I'm saying this moment because it's really, it's a big part of like who I am actually. So that's why I'm saying this story. So these people are screaming, and I'm screaming. I like feel pain now. Like I feel like I'm actually in some sort of car crash. And then the ambulance comes. The ambulance comes in. There's fire trucks coming in. There's police officers coming in. There's a helicopter that comes in. Whole shebang. They spend a lot of money on helicopters and firefighters and and it's taking 3 hours out of the senior class a day to watch this simulation. And there's this firefighter with an axe. And he could have just opened the door to let me out and then, transport me to where I need to go. He used an axe to tear open the windshield of the car, just whacking at the shards of glass going into my face and my body. And I can't, it's like, what else is right? You can't leave, right? You want to say, like, hey, time out, like, for a second? Can we get a timeout from the simulation? Like, a second? I'm, like, a little uncomfortable with this. Can we listen to, like, I don't know, Bruno Mars or something? They're being, like, in a better mood. Not the case. They just get their phone with the axe. I'm screaming my face off. They take me out of the car. They're putting me into a stretcher. There's IVs. They're sticking things into my, they look like actual needle. I hope they're not stabbing me. I can't tell because I feel like I'm in pain. My friends are in pain. My friend gets transported to a helicopter and flies away. My friend flies away. in a helicopter. I get put into an ambulance truck. This happens over the course of a very long time, oh mind you. I'm now in the ambulance, I'm freaking the F out, and the guy is just like, how's it going? How's it going? I just died. I just watched my friends die. Many of my friends die in a variety of different ways. One of the girls was like she went she went through the windshield. And on the hood of the car. It was so weird. They did this to us. Can you believe they did this to us? This was not in the waiver that I agreed to. It gets worse. They put me into the ambulance, they transport me away to an actual hospital. It's not enough that you just like take me to my house so I can take a warm bath. You know, take shards of glass out of my hamstring. They also tore my cargo shorts apart. Yeah, I was still wearing cargo shorts. Yeah, they're just, you know, my clothes are all in that. I didn't know I had a new shirt. I didn't know my new shirt was going to get all dirty. They take me to the hospital. I'm now in a hospital bed. Incredibly traumatized by an event like this. And there's this curtain that separated me from the world. The world's out there past that curtain. And I hear a big sigh from one of my best friends. And this was a girl that I dated for a bit too. So she was in the car crowd with me. She's in the adjacent room freaking the F out. Two, you can teach the seniors in high school all the bad things that are going to happen. Not enough. These people had to emphasize the fact that this also affects your family too. So my mom is the sweetest mom ever. I love my mom. My mom is this tall. You know those moms? Like, you know what she sent me in my suitcase? She sent me seaweed and like rice and like kind bars. That's how kind she was. She sent me kind, but she's so amazing. I love my mom. They brought my mom. They brought my mom. And I hope to God that they prefaced it with the fact that it was fake, but they didn't freaking do that in the hospital room. My mom walks into the room and they explain that your son is dead. Mind you, I wasn't allowed to talk. I had to lay silently, and my initial eyes, my eyes were closed initially, so I can't open them. At this point, I can't stand and look at my mom, but she's just sobbing, and she's holding my hand, and she's screaming to God, and I'm crying. I'm breaking character, kinda, and they take her away. They don't even give her enough time so they can find her. They take her away, so they escort her away. My friend has to listen to this. Then her mom comes in, grabs her hand, and her little sister is there too. And they're sobbing over Emily's dead body. And I'm just there having to listen to it. And then they leave, and then they're like, we're not done yet. They then transport us to a place where we're supposed to stay for the next 2 days because they're going to really teach people a lesson with this thing. So, smash cut back to what's going on in school. In class, it's not, you're in first period chemistry, then you spend the next, hour and a half out there watching your friends die. Then you come back to class. Again, not enough to see your friends die. More friends have to die. So they really like the statistic every 15 minutes someone gets killed during diagnosis. So every 15 minutes they pull a kid away from class randomly. They're like, this is how crazy it is. There's a Grim Reaper that goes in, he's dressed as a Grim Reaper with a scythe. I don't know. The Sith? Return of the Sith? I don't know. The thing, he walks in and is like, you. And then you have to get up and leave. And people are just dropping like flies. This goes over the course of like 2 days. So that's going on at school. We're just supposed to chill out. They take away our phones because it's not okay to tell your family that you're doing fine because you're dead. And when you're dead, you can't use your cell phone. So that makes sense. Out of everything that makes sense. So we're chilling, and the place that we chill is a hotel right next to Boomers, which is an amusement park thing with bumper cars. And I'm like, can we go to that place, arcade games? I'm like, no. They're like, no, we have to stay in a hotel room, chilling. They didn't give us alcohol education. They put on beer goggles and we have to, you know, show that, you know, you can't drink and walk either, and they're just making us feel even worse. The sheriff of the entire county comes in and berates us as well, and there's, again, it's not just okay for it to be done, you gotta have a funeral. So we go to school, and we arrive at school, we go to the school auditorium. This school has 2,300 people, and they're all forced to watch this. So the entire auditorium is now filled to the brim with students. You have funeral music playing as we're walking in. They put great makeup on us to look like ghosts. I don't know why. My friends know I was dead. They're my friends. Why put that on my face? So all the kids that died in the 2 days, every 50 minutes, so equals a lot of kids are standing on the side, and then the guy who murdered his like family has to go up and give a talk. Because I forgot to tell you guys, you know, the guy that had his girlfriend and then the kid, that guy survived. His wife and baby died. So that's how bad. And then they made him talk. Felt so bad. He speaks. They're like, I hope you learned your lesson. Go on with your life. So that happened to me my senior year of high school. And how can you experience something like that and not be affected irrevocably? Am I right?
Yeah.
So that's an event that happened to me. Is it okay if I show you guys the video? We're going to just do this. Why not? I'm going to show the video. I know it should be funnier than this. I'm going to show the video. Is this too serious, Sean? This is too serious. Okay, we're gonna watch it. Again, this is fake. Okay, this is all makeup. You know, the blood, that was like syrup. It tasted good, actually. Okay, so yeah, Sean. So Ben's gonna dim the lights. You know, I might do some color commentary.
Affected everyone that was there to see it, and anyone who's ever been in a car.
Please note that this was in the inspiration section of the yearbook DVD. So he's alive, he's chilling, he's fine.
The experience in every 15 minutes was really intense. Like, I don't think anyone like understands how intense it was for us. It was like an entire day of just sharing your feelings and emotions just in front of everyone that was in it.
That's his girlfriend. She went through the windshield, so he's fine. He's totally fine. That's fair enough. So they dated in real life. Yeah. So yeah, they please put out seats so you can sit down and watch. Even the weather was sad that day. So that's my car. You notice he was able to open up the door. That's me. That's my best friend screaming next to me. I'm asking her if she's okay. She's not.
Were you in the car? Did you have a baby in the car?
Oh, I guess the baby did die.
Even though I knew my daughter wasn't there, it still felt like she was because all the EMTs kept saying, oh, there's a car seat, you know, just asking JT, is there a baby here, is there a baby in the accident, like, you know, just like thinking of it, like hearing them say that, I was like crying softly to myself on the car because I was like, you know, what if she really was there?
That's really hated. Very convincing. he's not done it, he's getting the other side. Yeah. Again, the door is fully functional on both sides. Not necessary, yeah. At least they're pulling it back, right? And, yep. All right. Okay.
The hardest moment for me.
Oh, I hated this guy.
Was everybody else cry. Like, I'm not an emotional person by myself. Watching other people get emotional gets to me.
Yeah, so those are the people. There's the Grim Reaper making his appearance. Yeah, so I'm getting some treatment. They're tearing up my new shirt. He's struggling to breathe. My cargo shorts right there. Pee. That's syrup, that's not pee. That's my ab. And yeah, so they strap me to the thing. There's my Nikes. Got new socks. And that's me crying. I'm terrified. Ooh, that's painful watching this. Oh no. John, pull together. I'll make it through.
No one's safe. No one's like.
No one's safe.
Even if you don't know you're gonna drive, someone else could be responsible for it.
Let's stop there. That's good. Yeah. Okay. And that was interesting. Yes, the goal of this show, it's to, I don't know. I think we go through incredibly traumatic things in our lives, and I think it's too easy to just repress those and put them aside. I think we've all made mistakes. We've all been in situations that were incredibly terrifying and tragic. And I'm not saying you should laugh at them by any means. No. This is getting my heart rate up just looking at it. It's hard to look at that and like laugh, but like I'm getting to the point where I can do that. And you know, I just wanted to, you know, lay out my insecurities to you guys. I think that's important for us to do that. To be okay with our pitfalls and our problems and our past. It's often problematic alliteration. and to be okay with that. Because I think by being okay with that, and by sharing incidents like this, and being like okay with that, and accepting it, we can let love in. So thank you all so much for coming to my show, and you are all impossibly beautiful.